Hello, joyful family. I'm just here today to talk about my life with asthma. Living with asthma for maybe around 20 years now. I was diagnosed when I was an adult. That means growing up as a child. In my younger years, I did not have asthma, or I wasn't having any asthma symptoms. But anyway, I can't even say if there's anyone in my family that has asthma except for my nephew. So, none of my parents, none of my siblings, so I don't know where it came from. But I think I know how it started, so I'm just gonna share a little story. I'm gonna tell you the symptoms that I have, how I treat my asthma symptoms, how I prevent getting asthma attacks, and how to just care for yourself. And at the same time, I'm sending a message for people that has asthma, and if they're not doing these things that I am doing, then you need to listen and you need to start acting. Anyway, I have a disclaimer. I am not a medical doctor. I do not work in the medical field at all. I'm just a patient who has asthma and is willing to use my platform to share, whether some see it as entertaining or educational. I'm just here to share my life with asthma. So at this time, I'm going to be asking you to give the video a thumbs up, leave a comment if you struggle with asthma, or if you know somebody that struggles with asthma, you can leave a comment. You can share out the video, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. So I'm gonna get into how I came about when I found out that I have asthma. I was diagnosed with asthma. For those who don't know, I live in Jamaica, but I used to go to America, up to Massachusetts, where my sister lives. And there's winter time sometimes, and I was up there spending a winter, and I enjoy watching when my brother-in-law used to go out there and shovel the snow from in front of the business place, or the driveway at the house, or the gateway or so. And so I used to put on clothes, but I never used to like wearing boots or winter boots, so I would just wear some socks and some sneakers. And let me tell you that when the snow is falling and it's fluffy, it's not that cold until it settles on the ground and freeze together. Then it can drop below zero. But while the snow is falling, we call it the flurries, it's not that cold, but it can get high. So while it's falling, they need to shovel it away from the driveway or in front of the business place or so. So I was outside of the business place one day, wearing some sneakers and socks and jeans, and I had on a tights under the jeans because you have to dress warm. And I had on like two blouses and a winter jacket, and I had on a thumb as well, because you have to keep the head top warm. The mole, it's winter and you have to adjust yourself. But except for the boots, I wasn't wearing boots. So I was out there shoveling away, and I think I wasn't dressed warm enough, and I noticed that I started breathing shortly, and like I started coughing, and I knew for sure my hands was getting cold. I don't think I was wearing gloves. My hand was getting cold, and I decided to stop and go inside. And I realized that from that time I was just like coughing, because asthma make the muscles around your lungs tighten up. Yes, asthma makes the muscles around your lungs tighten up. It causes inflammation in your lungs, and when you feel the tightening or you cough, you will hear like something wanting to come up, but nothing is coming up. And when you're breathing, you will hear what they call a wheezing sound, or some people might say a whistling sound, and that is what asthma does. Tighten up the muscles around your lungs, causes an inflammation, and makes you cough. So I was just like coughing sometime to catch a proper breath, and when I cough I feel like something is there rattling in my throat, but it's not coming up. And so I said that no, I think I need to go to the hospital to see what's going on with me. So I went to the hospital, and that is where I was diagnosed with allergic asthma. After they did all their testings and questioned me and everything, I realized that allergic asthma is what I had, because one of the reasons why I know that I have allergic asthma, when I smell certain chemicals, or when certain pollen is in the air, like certain trees are blossoming, and when I smell like fumes, smoke, something burning, gas, even bleach will trigger me off. My throat start itching, I start the coughing, and then my eyes even get watery at times. So I know that out of the 3 different type of asthma, I have allergic asthma. Now, I'm not gonna talk about the 2 other types, because remember, I'm not a doctor, and I am here just to talk about my struggles and what I go through with my asthma. So I'm here to shed a little light on allergic asthma that I have. So from then, I was diagnosed with asthma, and to treat my asthma when it's really bad, I used to have to go to the hospital to get a nebulizer. But the nebulizer is a machine that they put some medication in with some saline water and put it over your nose, and you inhale it, and it goes directly to your lungs. But the medication that they put in it is a steroid. I'm not gonna say the name of it, and what that does to me, it helps me to breathe better, but it also has a side effect with me, and the side effect is it causes nervousness. After I'm finished, so they normally give me three sets. After I'm done, I would feel so nervous. My hands would shake. Even if I tried to write, it's like the pen is shaking in my hand, and it's a feeling that I don't like. Even my voice gets trembly. I really don't like that feeling. So I am always afraid to go to the hospital to get that type of treatment. So what I would do, I would ensure that at home I have my inhalers. Yes, the ones that you puff. See if I can show them to you. The ones that you spray in your mouth and inhale 2 puffs each time, and that will help you. Now, when I just started out using inhalers, I started out using 1, and over the years I seem to get worse, so I was upgraded to 2 different types. So I wish I could show them. I'm not gonna show them. I use 1 when I wake up in the morning, and 1 before I go to bed at night, whether I'm having attacks or not, and that will help to kind of prevent. But during the day, after using that 1 in the morning, if I am getting any attacks, there's another one that I would use. But I was warned that if I see that I have to use that 1 more than 3 times for the day, then that's the time that I need to go to the hospital or to the doctor and get some nebulizers. So there was a time when I did not take my asthma that serious, and I nearly lost my life. I was at home and I wasn't breathing properly, and I was there puffing the inhalers, and they did not seem to help. And when I decided to get ready to go to the hospital, I felt like my breath was leaving my body. I don't know, it's like I don't even know when I reached the hospital. I cannot remember when I told them what happened to me, but all I know is they hooked me up on the nebulizer and my life was saved. Yes, my life was saved. There was another time when I went to a private doctor instead of the hospital, and they gave me 3 there, and I had to pay for those 3. And they told me that I still need more. But because I'm that bad, they're not going to give it to me at the doctor's office. I need to go to the hospital. And when I went over there, they gave me 3 more nebs. So I got 6 for one day. And I don't think I want that to happen to me again, because I went near death. Now, some symptoms of asthma is, of course, you're not breathing properly, you have shortness of breath, you cough, because when you cough it kind of clears your lungs a little bit. You cough often, you tire easily. When you get up to do anything, as you start doing it, so you get tired. When you smell anything, like the allergic asthma now, if somebody uses a strong deodorant beside you, or a perfume or so, that's immediately, it irritates you. Yes, it irritates you. So I have to avoid certain chemicals in the home when I'm going through, like insect sprays, strong perfumes, certain chemicals that I would use for cleaning the bathroom and stuff like that. And I have to be careful. If somebody is burning something outside, I have to close all the windows so that the smoke does not come inside. I cannot get my yard cut when I am having the symptoms, because the smell of the fresh grass can also be a problem. With allergic asthma, you have to be careful of having pets around, cats or dog. You have to be careful of anything furry, such as a fluffy blanket or pillows, or any kind of dust. If you're raking the yard, you need to wear a mask if you're able to, or if you're going in certain environment, you have to wear a mask so as to not inhale excuse me, so as to not inhale any form of dust particles. Yes, so prevention is better than cure. But if you are home and you're not really doing anything and you're getting attacks, make sure you have your inhalers as a form of emergency. You use them if you feel like you have to go to the hospital. You use them before you go or on the way, just to kind of keep you going or keep you strong enough until you get to the hospital. Yes, there are pills that doctors will prescribe. There are medicines that doctors can prescribe to help you, but they always tell you to prevent getting an attack by keeping your surroundings clean as best as you can. But I'm not supposed to have a carpet in my room that I sleep. My windows and curtains, they're supposed to be changed often. If you're using a fan, your fan is supposed to stay clean, because the dust particles blowing in your face and you inhale it can be a serious problem. So as much as you love your pets or love animals, cats or dogs, trust me, it is better to avoid having those, because the thing that they call pet dander, the dust that comes off them, is a serious problem. And one thing for sure, I have learned that asthma cannot be cured. No, it can only be treated. And the life expectancy of somebody with asthma, you can live just as long as anybody else, but you have to take care of yourself. Don't be afraid or don't be ashamed to go to the hospital if you feel the need to. When you go to the emergency room, the A&E accident and emergency area, when they hear that you have asthma, they tend to you right away. I have a nephew who nearly lost his life. He was getting an asthma attack, and he had to drive himself to the hospital. And he said that, "Auntie, even my fingernails got blue." He was just saved by the bell. Even his fingernails got blue because his breath was literally stopping. Asthma is nothing to play with. Once you are diagnosed with asthma, it doesn't make any sense. Well, for me, I don't do the bush thing. But if you're a person who believes in herbs, and herbs is the right treatment and stuff like that, I cannot tell you what to do, but modern medicine works for me. I do believe in modern medicine, and they save my life over and over and over. I do believe that if I wasn't taking modern medicine for this asthma, I wouldn't be here today. I would not be here. So yes, try to find out, try to be sure of the type of asthma that you have so that you can get the proper treatment. I know that I have allergic asthma, and I know exactly what triggers it, and I know exactly how to control it. Even the atmosphere, the temperature, if it's too cold, it can affect me, and if it's too hot, it will affect me. But water doesn't affect me. I can go outside in the rain and get wet at any time. And I hear some people with asthma say that they cannot get wet in the rain. That means they seem to have a different type of asthma from the one that I have, because staying cool is the right thing for me. If I get too hot, that is when I will get the attack. So I have to either take a shower, stay as long as I can in the water, or turn on the AC and try to stay cool. That is how some of the ways that I prevent myself from getting asthma attacks, or I know how to treat myself when I do have the attacks. Yes, and especially with our children. Remember that children can't always explain themselves properly. Children and elderly people, your grandparents or your great-grandparents, you have to take special care of them when they have asthma. Look out for when they're showing signs, and do the right thing. They have inhalers that they use. The babies, the little children, they use inhalers as well, and they have kiddies nebulizer. So you don't have to run to the hospital every second or every minute when your child is getting an attack. You can get the right stuff for them and treat them at home. It can save you back some money, and it can possibly save your child's life. I've known people that has died from asthma complications, and not just one person. I know of people, and I'm sure that people that will listen to this can, even one person can come and say, yes, I know somebody that died from an asthma attack. Sorry about the lighting. It's raining outside, and it's a bit dark, and I wasn't in the mood to turn on the lights. But I am reminding you again, please give the video a thumbs up, share it to somebody that you might know have asthma, and it will help them. A lot of people does not know how to read and comprehend, or read and understand. So if they have somebody to talk to them and educate them, it will help them. A lot of people does not have the internet to go. A lot of people doesn't even have a smartphone to go and read up. They don't know what to type in to read up and find out all these things about asthma. And let's be frugal. Sometimes when you go to the doctors, they don't sit down and explain things to you enough. I see that happen to people. It happens to me, but because I know better, I question them, and I am not getting up out of their seat or leaving their office until I am satisfied and I fully understand what I am going through and why I went there in the first place. At this time, I'm gonna say thank you so much for watching, and I do hope all this information was of value to someone.